And remember you this day all the days of your life, and observe it from year to year all the days of your life, once a year on its day, according to all the thurah thereof, and do not adjourn it from day to day, from month to month, for it is an eternal ordinance engraved on the heavenly tablets regarding all the children of Yashar'Al, that they should observe it every day on its day, once a year, throughout all their generations. And there is no limit of days, for this is ordained forever. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. I'm Watchman Yirmiyahu, Qadashayam of Yasharal, and this is part 10 in the book of Yubalym. Remember the Pasach. Remember the Pasach. Hallelujah. Again, we had in part 1 questions about Genesis. Part 2, House of Confusion, a reference to Tower of Babel. Part 3, Children of the Promise, sons and daughters of Abraham. Part 4, Amunah. Like Abraham, Amunah is that strong trust. We don't say that F word. And then we had the well of the oath. Baruked be he who barukes you. And we know the rest of that. Cursed be he who curses you. Your name shall be Yashar'Al. Bend your bow, Father. Wow, that was hardcore. Bend your bow, Father. Yehuda told Jacob, you're going to need to go to war with Esau and his sons who've surrounded us, and they've come to take us all, right? Hallelujah. Famine in the land. Remember Yusap in his coat of many colors, and the great wisdom that Yahuwah placed upon him to be able to interpret Pharaoh's dreams, become second in all the kingdom of Mitzrayim, and prepare a place for Yashar'Al to come and be received. And Yashar'Al remained in the land of Mitzrayim while Yosef was still alive, 70 years in Shalum and plenty. Baruk by Yahuah. Hallelujah. Yahuah. That's another amazing thing. You know, I always just harken back to this. What the Father's been showing me is like the males, the patriarchs in our ancestry and our heritage were mighty. They had great amunah. They were warriors. They were wise, and walking in righteousness and being Qadash as, you know, husbands, fathers, protectors, prophets, speaking the oracles or speaking the truth of Yahuwah. I don't know, that word's probably not clean, so please forgive me, I haven't looked into that one. We try to steer clear of all unclean words, especially names of four mighty ones. We have a 2-part series on clean lips on the YouTube channel too. I recommend that you check it out if you hadn't already. Abba Yahuwah Baruk you and your entire household, right? In Yahusha's name. Let us do all things in remembrance of his great love for us, that he willingly laid his life down, that he spilled out his blood to cover us, just like the hyssop and the blood on the doorposts in the book of Exodus, covering and protecting that house, that entire house, right? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So we have chapters 46 through 50. I do not think that it will take too terribly long, so I will try and spend some time to answer any questions. I wanted to also say that I will be emailing out the calendar for the pagan year 2025. We're currently in the 11th month of Yahuwah's Moedim, This is a Shabbat day. We have, I believe, around 6 weeks remaining in the entire year, and it's going to be the first of Abib again. And we're going to need to know when the 10th day of the first month is, because something very special happens. Does anybody know what that is? Also, the evening of the 14th, the Pasach happens. So if you're not on the email list and you want to be, my email is in the link tree in my bio. Or you can go to the YouTube channel Qadashayam of Yasharal, and it's in every single video description, right? I don't think I ever missed any. I always have to go back and fill them in. Email me and let me know that you want a copy of the calendar, and I'll add you to the list and I'll send it right away. It's free. It's 12 pages, color PDF. You could print it out, and you could just do like we do, put it in a little clear sleeve and hang it up. And you know, you have all the pagan days in there too, so you can use it to help track your time in the matrix when you need to take time off for work for different feasts. The fixed feast days never move. The Shabbats never move. And we also esteem the new moon days, which happen 4 times a year, months 1, 4, 7, and 10. You need to know about these things. I gotta tell you guys, we've been in Genesis, in you know, with our son in the dawning earlier in the Shabbat, and we saw Noah or Noach and the things that were happening regarding the flood, and when he saw the top of the mountain and was joyful, and when the windows were closed, and when the waters rescinded, and all these different things happening on Yahuwah's Moedim, on the new moon days of 1, 4, 7, 10, just like it says in Yubalym, just like it says, confirmed. And they try to hide things, they try to confuse us, they change moon and month, and they try to do their thing. But the Ruach of Yahuwah is mighty to show us what the truth is, and he leads us into all truth. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. And you know, we can get the confirmations, and the book of Yubalym is a critical part. It needs to be in our scriptures. It should be esteemed by all mashpakah, and you know, thank the Father for preserving it for us. Yeah, I'm so thankful for that. So anyway, sometime, if not later on today, then tomorrow, I will be sending out the link for Wheels Within Wheels, which was a great study that we just did a few days ago. I really want to encourage you guys to check it out. There's like 7 different words in the Abrith that we go in on. One example, Anan, which is, in the English they write clouds. Ruach, wind, spirit, breath. Sar. Forgive me that I can't think of them all right off the top of my head, but so in the book of Ezekiel, Yazakayal sees a vision, and it says wheels within wheels, and some people go, oh, that must be a spaceship. Oh, I think it's a UFO. And they're so out there. No. False. It's whirlwind. And whirlwinds within whirlwinds. That's a multiple vortices, sub-vortices. This is a storm that's coming, that's judgment. That the prophets were seeing, just like in Chazun. They were seeing the judgment, the great and terrible day of Yahuwah. Eyes all over, because the wicked cannot hide from his judgment and his wrath. And the Malachim, the spirits, are on the wind, they're on the whirlwinds. Yahuwah himself rides the whirlwind, speaks from the whirlwind. Yeah. Shalom, Damon. Welcome in, Aki. Great to see you. So I wanted everybody to get that. I'm going to be sending out the link to Wheels Within Wheels Part 2. I'm going to be sending the new calendar for the year, the pagan year 2025. And if you're not on there and you want to be on there, shoot me off an email and let me know, and I will make sure that you're included, okay? Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. All right, let's get into this, right? We got chapter 46. And it came to pass that after Jacob died, the children of Yashar'Al multiplied in the land of Mitzrayim, and they became a great nation. And they were of one accord in heart, so that brother loved brother, and every man helped his brother. And they increased abundantly and multiplied exceedingly. 10 weeks of years. These are the 70 years under Yosef that I was talking about right here. This was during all the days of the life of Yosef. His name is not Joseph, okay? You would write his name Y-U-S-U-P. Oh wow, I just had a brain freeze on that one. Let me look it up. I got this laptop here now, family. Baruk Yahuah. While I'm looking this up, I'm going to actually tell you guys about this wonderful thing that Yahuah did and my Asha, because I've been struggling having the information that I need for the videos on multiple devices, and I get disorganized sometimes, and I wanted to be able to consolidate everything into one place. And we did receive a gift from a beloved sister. Thank you so much. And I just so happened to see that there was a laptop that was being sold in our community, and it was a very great price. And I was like, told my Asha, already several people showed interest and wanted it. We were already down on the list. And I don't know, favor of Yahuah and my Asha putting in work, and she was messaging the person. She got that laptop. She got that laptop. Even the guy never even answered my private message. And I private messaged him before she did. But Yahuah showed favor, and her word was received. And yeah. Thank you, Abba. Baruk Yahuah. So may that be helpful now in helping me to get these messages out to you guys. So let me see. I looked up Joseph. Yod. Hey. So it actually is Yahusap. Yahusap. Y-A-H-U-S-A-P. Can you write that for me, baby? Maybe pin it. Y-A-H-S-U-P. Yahuah has added. Baruk Yahuah. See that? Silly pagans. His name ain't Joseph. Yasup. Yasup. Sorry. Yahusap. I'm messing it up. It's a lot to learn these things, right, guys? Yahusap. Yahuah adds, or Yahuah will add, has added. Yahuah adds. Baruk Yahuah. All right, so 70 years. It's like the book of Acts, right? And yeah, hallelujah. Yahuah. There was no Hashatan, nor any evil all the days of the life of Yahusha, which he lived after his father Yaakov. For all the Mitzri honored the children of Yashar'Al all the days of the life of Yahusha. Yahusha died being 110 years old. 17 years he lived in the land of Canaan, and 10 years he was a servant, and 3 years in prison, and 80 years he was under the king, ruling all the land of Mitzrayim. He died, and all his brethren and all that generation. He commanded the children of Yashar'Al before he died that they should carry his bones with them when they went forth from the land of Mitzrayim, and he made them swear regarding his bones. For he knew that the Mitzrayim would not again bring forth and bury him in the land of Canaan. For Makamaron, king of Canaan, while dwelling in the land of Ashur, fought in the valley with the king of Mitzrayim. So we have these wicked kings actually warring with each other. I love this because I try to get understanding about how this, with the New World Order and the elites, the kings of the earth, and how they conspire together, but they actually sometimes war with each other as well. Right? This is not anything new under the sun. So we have this king of Canaanites warring with the king of with the ruler of the Egyptians, right? Okay. He died, and all his brethren and all that generation, and he commanded, oh, I already read that part, I'm sorry. That was going back about his bones. He made them swear about the bones. We got that already. Okay. So here, the king of the Canaanites, while dwelling in the land of Ashur, fought in the valley with the king of the Mitzrayim and slew him there. So the Canaanite king killed the Egyptian king. You see that? And pursued after the rest of the Mitzrayim all the way to the gates of Arman. So they had to flee and escape, and he was pursuing after them, his army. But he was not able to enter, for another new king had come into power in Mitzrayim, and he was stronger than the previous one. So he then returned to the land of Canaan, and the gates of Mitzrayim were closed, and none went out, and none came in to Mitzrayim. So after the war happened, the king of the Egyptians was killed. A new, more powerful king came in, but they closed off. Nobody crossed over the border or anything like that. And so you know that Egyptian is like becoming powerful again after that, right? So listen to this. Yahusha died in the 46th Yubalym, in the 6th week and the 2nd year, and they bury him in the land of Mitzrayim. Remember, they swore to take his bones, but they didn't. They buried him in Egypt. So that's why when we saw before the evidence of the tomb that was in Egypt, that it had like a demarcation of blue eyes. It's a wild thing. I don't remember all the details of it, but it is very interesting. And I'm always thinking about it. Maybe one of these times I'd like to do a study on all those who were buried in the double cave that Abraham purchased, right? So let's go back and look at this. Yosef died in the 46th Jubilee, so we do 46 times 50, that's 2,300. Then it also says the 6th week, so 6 times 7 is 42, so I add the 42. 2342. And then it says the 2nd year, so I add the 2. Again, there's controversy about how you calculate the dates. This is the way that I believe that it would work, and this is the way that I do it. I think the most important thing for me to say to you regarding that is just be consistent in how you're doing it and how you're calculating it. Because as long as you're consistent, then your timeline should be basically consistent, right? Okay. So let's see. So they ended up burying him there, but a few of them remained in the mountains of Hebron, and Aram, your father, remained with them. So this is about Masha. He's saying, hey, Shalom, Darlene. So he's saying that Amram is a forefather, not literal actual father, but a forefather of Masha. And so some had remained in the mountains there. And the king of the Canaanites was victorious over the king of Mitzrayim, and he closed the gates of Mitzrayim, and he devised an evil device against the children of Yashar'Al, of afflicting them. And he said unto the people of the Egyptians, behold, the people of the children of Yashar'Al have increased and multiplied more than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them before they become too multiple, too much. Let us afflict them with bondage before war then comes upon us and before they go to fight against us, else they join themselves with our enemies and get them up out of our land, for their hearts and their faces are towards the land of Canaan. So remember I was saying that, oh, sorry, baby, thank you. This is why I wish my Yashar'Al was here. We had this conversation while driving and stuff. So it literally is his father. I stand corrected. Thank you, sweetheart, for that. Amram, his father, remained there in the mountains. So the Canaanite king made war with Egypt, killed their king. They got a new king. Then they were like separated and divided, but now they're wanting to conspire together against Yashar'Al. You see how that works? Oh yeah, because they lied about the time. That was that image that I asked you to send me. The most I could do is bring it up now, and I'm not prepared to go in on that. We didn't make the proper preparations for that, but we did discover a poor translation in the Bible that actually causes confusion to where everyone believes that it was like 430 years, but really when you look at the words that are there, it could be more like 134 years. And I believe it actually is 134 years, because remember, they took the book of Jubilees away, so people just had what's written in Genesis to base the understanding. But when we then read in Jubilees what happens here, we'll realize there's no way it could have been 400 years. It becomes mathematically impossible. So we went in and we looked at the words that were there and realized that it could be 134 or maybe even 143. So that's pretty wild. Thank you, honey. So these two pagan kings that were warring against each other have said, hey, let's unite ourselves against Yashar'Al. That's really ultimately what I think happens with our age and the New World Order and everything else, because the scripture says that they want to make war with Yahuwah, with his anointed HaMashiach, and with his people. That was in Psalm 83, I believe. We talked about that in the video Wheels Within Wheels Part 2. Let me see if I can grab it really quick. I'm sorry, I wasn't really prepared to do that. But I want to. For lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people and consulted against your hidden ones. So right there, so in Psalm 2, we know that they conspire against the king, or the kings of the earth conspire against Yahuwah and Yahusha. And then right here, it also says they take crafty counsel against your people. So Baruk Yahuah for that. Okay. Thanks, Aki. Trying. May Yahuwah Baruk it. May Yahuwah Baruk it. I appreciate that. All right, so if what I'm saying about the timeline is true, which these scriptures are true, right? Yahuwah had led me to that to show me again, once again, how they have lied, how they have twisted things. They pervert the word of the Most High, and then they go into their circus and they make themselves to be authorities and have dominion over people, and they lead them astray. You know, that's part of the doctrine that the Hebrew Israelites use to say that they're the only people that fulfill Deuteronomy 28. That's not true. And the 400 years is also not true. Boom, destroyed. Again, their doctrine's destroyed. Right? Okay, Yashar'Al suffers these things because of the disobedience of our fathers. It's a generational curse. People are still enslaved right now. To this day, they're being trafficked out there and shipped containers and stuff. Okay, that's not new. I would say that slavery is the oldest profession. So I know a lot of people say it's prostitution, but anyways, I digress. Let's keep this story going here. Where are we? So he placed over them some taskmasters to afflict them with bondage, Yashar'Al. And they built strong cities for Pharaoh, Pithom, and Ramses. And they built all the walls and all the fortifications which had fallen in the cities of Mitzrayim, rebuilding Egypt, right? They used the slave labor of Yashar'Al to do that. And they made them serve with rigor. And the more they dealt evilly with them, the more they increased and multiplied. And the people of Mitzrayim abominated the children of Yashar'Al. Well, the Egyptians hated Yashar'Al, right? Okay, chapter 47. And in the 7th week, in the 70th year, in the 47th Jubilee, so we could do this again, right? It just said, wait. "47th Jubilee," so 47 times 50, 2350. And then it also says 7th week, so that's going to be 7 times 7, 49. And then add 7 more. So now it's 2406. Right? 2406. Thanks, Aki. "Your father went from the land of Canaan, and you were born in the 4th week, in the 6th year thereof, in the 48th Jubilee. This was the time of the tribulation of the children of Yashar'Al." So Yahusha perished. The wicked kings conspired together against Yashar'Al. Taskmasters, harsh slavery for Yashar'Al. Okay? Pharaoh, king of Mitzrayim, issued a command regarding them, that they should cast all the male children which were born into the river, and they cast them in for 7 months, until the day that you were born, Masha. "And your mother hid you 3 months. And they told regarding her, and she made an ark for you, and covered it with pitch and asphalt, and placed it in the reeds on the bank of the river, and she placed you in it 7 days." I just love it, it's so beautiful. "And your mother came by night and suckled you, and by day Miriam, your sister, guarded you from the birds. And in those days Tharmuth, the daughter of Pharaoh, came to bathe in the river, and she heard your voice crying. And she told her maidens to bring you forth, and they brought you unto her. And she took you out of the ark, and she had compassion on you. And your sister said to her, Shall I go and call unto you one of the Abrim women, or woman, to nurse and suckle this babe for you?" So we know that she had to be close to Pharaoh's house to even be there to speak to his daughter like this, right? And recommending that an Abri woman come. And so the daughter of Pharaoh said unto her, "Go." And she went and called your own mother. This is amazing. This is so Yahuah. Yaqobad. "And she gave her wages, and she nursed you." So not only did she get to nurse her son, she got paid to do it. Baruk Yahuah, right? That's so amazing, you guys. "And afterwards, when you were grown up, they brought you unto the daughter of Pharaoh, and you did become her son." So this is something that we don't necessarily get from the book of Genesis either, right? The daughter of Pharaoh discovered him as an infant in the ark, but then he went and was nursed and raised up by his own mother, who earned a wage to raise him. He wasn't back with the daughter of Pharaoh until several years later. Watch. And you did become her son, and Amram your father taught you writing. So his own father got to teach him writing. Abrith, right? And after you had completed 3 weeks, they brought you into the royal court. 3 weeks is 21 years old. He didn't go into Pharaoh's court until he was 21 years old. Nursed by his own mother and taught the language by his own father. He had roots, established roots in the Yashar'Alim culture, right? That's beautiful. You were 3 weeks of years at court until the time when you did go forth from your royal court and did see an Egyptian smiting your friend. Your friend. Did you see that? Who was of the children of Yashar'Al, and you did slay him and hide him in the sand. And on the second day, you did, and 2 of the children of Yashar'Al were striving against each other, and you said to him who was doing the wrong, why are you smiting your brother? And he was angry and indignant and said, who made you a prince and a judge over us? Think you are to also kill me as you did the Mitzri yesterday? And you became fearful and fled on account of these words. Baruk Yahuah. Hallelujah. All right. So chapter 48, like I said, these chapters go pretty quick this time. But I think that that's amazing stuff that we just saw in chapter 47 that we don't really get just from the book of Genesis. We don't get that understanding. You know? All right. So in the 6th year, the 3rd week of the 49th Yubalym. So I'm going to do that again. 49 times 50. 2450. 3rd week, that's 21. 6th year, so it's 2477 now, it's saying, right? So in the 6th year of the 3rd week of the 49th Yubalym, you did depart and dwell in the land of Midian 5 weeks. 5 weeks is 5 times 7 is 35 and 1, so 36 years. 36 years. You did return into Mitzrayim in the 2nd week, in the 2nd year of the 50th Jubilee. All right, and you yourself know what he spoke unto you at Mount Sinai. And what the prince, and here's the name of the captain of the wicked Ruach Ha'Qadash. I don't want to say his name. But this is Hashatan. Okay? So the Qadash angel, Malakim, is telling Masha, you know what Yahuwah said to you at Mount Sinai, and what the devil basically desired to do with you when you were returning into Mitzrayim. Did he not with all his power seek to slay you and deliver the Mitzri out of your hand when he saw that you were the one who was sent to execute judgment and vengeance on the Mitzrayim? Dang. And I delivered you out of his hand, and you did perform the signs and wonders which you were sent to perform in Mitzrayim against Pharaoh, and against all his house, and against his servants and his people. And Yahuwah executed a great vengeance on them for Yashar'Al's sake, and smote them through the plagues of blood, and frogs, lice, and dog flies, and malignant boils breaking out forth in sores, and their cattle being unalived, and by hailstones. Thereby he destroyed everything that grew for them, and by locusts which devoured the remnant which had been left by the hail, and by darkness, and by the death of the firstborn males and animals, and all them idols. Yahuwah took vengeance and burned them with fire. Baruk Yahuah. And everything was sent through your hand, that you should declare these things before they were done, and you did speak with the king of Mitzrayim, before all of his servants and before all his people, and everything took place according to your words. 10 great, terrible judgments came on the land of Mitzrayim, that you might execute vengeance on it for Yashar'Al. For Yashar'Al. Yeah, that's why the judgments are coming back. For Yashar'Al. Amber, thank you for your question. I would say that we don't speak Hebrew. The word Hebrew is a Latin word, and it's only a few hundred years old. And what sense does it make to be named after a bear when a bear wasn't called out like Abraham was? The scriptures say the language is actually Abrith, Aleph, Bat, Resh, Yod, which is the same letters as Abraham. Okay, so I will tell you that his name, yes, his name in the Abrith is Yahuah. Yah-u-ah, the great I am, adds breath, right? Yahusha, the great I am, our deliverer. Ahayah, ahar, ahayah, I am that I am. Baruk Yahuah, thank you for your question. And Yahuwah did everything for Yashar'Al's sake, according to his oath, agreement, marriage, vows, wedding, vows, which he had ordained with Abraham, that he would take vengeance on them as they had brought them by force into bondage. That's what I wanted to say too. See, a bear is a forefather of Abraham, but Yahuwah didn't make an agreement with him that I will Baruk those who Baruk you, and I will curse those who curse you. He made that agreement with Abraham, right? Because he is the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, right? So hallelujah. And I mean, we are Abrim, the crossed over peoples. That's what it is. The called out ones, the placed apart ones, separate from the world. Hallelujah. You see? Yashar'Al, upright peoples of Elohim. Right? Up here. Qadashayam, my righteous peoples. Yashar'Al, the upright people of Elohim. His possession forever. Baruk Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. I'm going to back up a little just so we can keep this going smoothly. Yahuwah did everything for Yashar'Al's sake, according to the oath which he had ordained with Abraham, that he would take vengeance on them as they had brought them by force into bondage. He fights for us. He protects us, right? And the prince, Hashatan, this is the name, I won't say that's in here, right? Stood up against you and sought to cast you into the hands of Pharaoh. And he even helped the Mitzri sorcerers. And they stood up and wrought before you the evils indeed we allowed them to do. We allowed them to do it. Okay? But the remedies we did not allow to be wrought by their hands. And Yahuwah smote them with malignant ulcers, and they were not able to stand, for we destroyed them so that they could not perform a single sign. Hallelujah. And notwithstanding all these signs and wonders, the prince, this Hashatan name right here, was not put to shame, because he took courage and cried to the Mitzri to pursue after you with all the powers of the Mitzrim, with their chariots and with their horses and with all the hosts of the peoples of Mitzrayim. And I stood between the Mitzri and Yashar'Al, and we delivered Yashar'Al out of his hand and out of the hand of his people, and Yahuwah brought them through the midst of the sea as if it were dry land. And all the peoples whom he brought to pursue after Yashar'Al, Yahuwah Eloheinu, cast them into the midst of the sea, into the depths of the abyss, beneath the children of Yashar'Al. Even as the people of Mitzrayim had cast their children into the river, he took vengeance on 1,000,000 Egyptians and 1,000 strong warriors for each suckling child of Yashar'Al. The Malachim are telling him right now, for every one little suckling infant that got thrown into the river, every little baby of Yashar'Al, Yahuah took 1,000 warriors, 1,000 mighty warriors of Egypt for every one little baby of Yashar'Al. KLG, light, love that lion, love it. You know, the wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as lions. Baruk Yahuah. Hallelujah. Hey, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. How we doing? What's the mind blown thing for, baby? What you doing there? Thank you for the likes and the shares. You guys are awesome. Okay? So this is an idea of how Yahuah deals out his vengeance, right? 1,000 mighty Egyptian warriors for each little suckling babe of Yashar'Al. And on the 14th day, on the 15th day, on the 16th day, and on the 17th day, and the 18th day, the prince was bound and imprisoned behind the children of Yashar'Al that he might not accuse them. I thought about this a lot, and I'm seeking this out in understanding, like maybe this is something to do with understanding the overall view of time, of redemptive history, of how Hashatan is bound for a certain time and a period. I don't know. But it's interesting because it says on the 14th day, 15th day, 16th day, 17th day, 18th day. Very specific, very interesting. Yeah. And on the 19th, we let them loose that they might help the Mitzri to pursue after the children of Yashar'Al. And he hardened their hearts and made them stubborn. And the device was devised by Yahuah Eloheinu, that he might smite the Mitzrayim and cast them into the sea. Look at that. He allowed it to happen because he ultimately planned and willed to bring his harsh judgment upon them. So he gave them over to the lust of their own hearts, right? And on the 14th, we bound him that he might not accuse the children of Yashar'Al on the day when they asked the Mitzri for vessels, garments, vessels of silver, vessels of gold, vessels of bronze, okay, in order to despoil Mitzrayim in the return for the bondage in which they had forced them to serve. And we did lead the children of Yashar'Al from Mitzrayim, not empty-handed. Okay, so this is making a little bit more sense now. Baruk Yahuah, thank you, Father, for this understanding, okay? So we have to understand that the Pasach is on the evening of the 14th, okay? So they're saying that on the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, Hashatan was bound, right, to not interfere. And so, and that this was all for a purpose, right? Yashar'Al got out a certain distance ahead, and then they released the enemy, and the enemy stirred the people to pursue, chase after them, so that they could go to their demise, which was going to be at the parting of the water. It was already all planned, right? You see what I mean? So check this out. They left with all the wealth, all the riches of Egypt, and that the angels had every work in that, right? We did not lead them forth empty-handed. So they worked it out so that they would get all that. Lake of fire, sea, yeah, right? Like, yeah. Because it says right here that they went into the abyss, which is also chaos, void, emptiness, nothingness, the depths of the sea. So, yeah. Lake of fire, everlasting abyss. great torment and suffering. All right. So it's very interesting. Okay, so wow, look at that. You guys were on 49 now. Okay, here it is. Remember the commandment which Yahuwah commanded you concerning the Pasach, that you should celebrate it in its season on the 14th of the first month, that you should not kill it before it is evening, and that they should eat it by night on the evening of the 15th from the time of the going down of the sun. So I have to say this again in case anybody's new and missed it. All right? The day is 12 hours. The night is 4 watches. This is how time is divided. Yahuwah separated the day from the night and the light from the darkness. He's making it separate, right? The dawning and the evening is when we have the really beautiful colors in the sky. Those are the bookends of the day. So you still have 12 hours. There's some kind of commercial or something on here. Please bear with me. A little pop-up ad. We don't need it. We don't need anything you're selling, devil. All right. So the feast of the Pasach begins in the evening. That's the bookend of the day. Okay. So if we don't understand this, then it'll be really confusing. This part right here. Because this is talking a lot about when you kill the Pasach, when you roast the Pasach, when you eat the Pasach, and how all that goes down. Okay? So, got to remember too, like, on Yahuwah's Moedim, the 14th day of the first month is the second Shabbat day of the month, of the year. Okay? Every year is going to begin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of work and a 7th day of rest. Every single year, because it's 364 days perpetually in all your generations, 52 weeks. So the calendar is never broken this way. It's always the same. The Pasach never moves. The Shabbat never moves. All these people are teaching things that aren't true, and they do it with authority like they have understanding, but they don't. Okay, they just don't. So the Shabbat day, you get to the evening. That's why you got to do everything in haste. Don't say Keel. Okay, I'll try not to. Thanks. All right. But I'm literally reading the scriptures. So what kind of discrimination is that they're showing to his people that we can't even read our book? Anyway. Remember the commandment that Yahuwah commanded concerning the Pasach, that you should celebrate it in its season on the 14th. This is the first month that you should prepare it before it becomes evening, and that you shall eat it by night after the evening, right? On the 15th from the time of the going down of the sun. For on this night, the beginning of the feast and the beginning of the joy, you were eating the Pasach in Mitzrayim, when all the powers of Hashatan were loosed to slay the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim. So right here is a confirmation. Yahuwah allowed the evil spirits to do that work, right? From the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the captive maid servant in the mill and the cattle. This is the sign which Yahuwah gave them into every house on the lintels, of which they saw the blood of the lamb of the first year. Because remember, the Pasach lamb is supposed to be a year. Into that house they should not enter in to slay, but should pass by, that all those should be saved that were in the house because of the sign of the blood that was on the doorpost. And the powers of Yahuwah did everything according as Yahuwah commanded them, and they passed by all the children of Yashar'Al, and the plague came not upon them to destroy from amongst them any soul either cattle, man, dog, etc. So now as we are in this last day and the judgment, the storm that we talked about in Wheels Within Wheels is coming, are we not also to be preserved in the same way? I absolutely believe so. 1,000 will fall at your left hand and 10,000 at your right hand, but no harm of the plague shall come unto you and your household. As for me and my household, we will serve Yahuwah. We trust in Yahusha. The blood of the Pasach lamb is covering us, right? This plague was very grievous in Mitzrayim. There was no house, not a single house in all of Egypt, right, where there was not at least one who was unalived, weeping and lamentations in all the houses of Egypt, right? And all Yashar'Al was eating the flesh of the Pasach lamb, drinking wine, and was lauding and baruching, giving thanks to Yahuwah of their fathers, and ready to go forth from under the yoke of Mitzrayim and from under the evil bondage. Sorry. Okay, baby. Hallelujah. Remember you this day, all the days of your life, and observe it from year to year, all the days of your life, once a year, on its day, according to the Torah thereof, and do not adjourn it from day to day. Therefore, do not adjourn it from day to day or from month to month, for it is an eternal ordinance and engraved on the heavenly tablets regarding all the children of Yashar'Al, that they should observe it every year on its day, once a year throughout all the generations, and there is no limit of days, for this is ordained forever. Okay? Foundational in understanding right here. This is not done away with, not abolished, never taken from us. Okay, I don't care what any of these people will say. There's a lot of people troubling folks and being like, oh, well, you're not in the land, so you're not supposed to keep the feasts. That's not true. Okay, that's actually not true. This is written and ordained and engraved in sapphire stones. Heavenly tablets forever, perpetually in all your generations. Guys, remember the Pasach. Don't forget ever. Don't forget ever his love for you. Don't forget ever what he laid down for you. That he spilled out his blood to cover you, to cleanse you, to wash you, to make a way for you. It's only a wicked spirit that would try to tell people to not remember the Pasach. I mean, that should be obvious, right? And the man who is free from uncleanness and does not come and observe it in its occasion, in its day, so as to bring an acceptable offering before Yahuwah, to eat and to drink before Yahuwah on the day of its feast, that man who is clean and close at hand shall be cut off. They're basically telling you, like, hey, if you don't do it, if you don't guard it, if you don't esteem it, you're going to be cut out, removed, okay? Because he offered not the oblation of Yahuwah in its appointed season. He shall take the guilt then upon himself. You know, I have a video on the channel that's called Meat Sacrificed to Idols, and I'll encourage you guys to watch it, because as an ex-Gen for a long time, I didn't really know what that was. And I would ask people, and I would never really get a concise answer, because I don't think a lot of people really even know. You know, is that eating swine's flesh? Like, or, you know, like, I'm sorry, we don't get down on our knees in front of a wood carving that and candles all around and do some ritual thing, like, you know. But if you sit down to a Thanksgiving dinner and praise Jesus for this bounty you're about to receive, I tell you, you are eating meat sacrificed to an idol. Okay? You give thanks to Yahuwah, right? On his clean food that he gives, not swine's flesh. On his appointed Moedims that he gives, not the HOL days of the world, of Hashatan. Okay, that's what it is. It's important too, because in the book of Chazun, it's referenced 2 different times to groups that are eating meat sacrificed to idols, right? Speaking out and praising names of foreign mighty ones rather than the Most High Yahuwah. So it's important. Let the children of Yashar'Al come and observe the feast of Pasach on the day of its fixed time. Fixed. On the 14th day of the first month, between evening from the third part of the day to the third part of the night, for 2 portions of the day are given to light and a third portion to the evening. So I think that what this is talking about here, like I said, you have morning, then you have noonday, and you have evening. So you basically have broken it down into like 3 chunks of the day, right? So at the end part of the evening, the very last part of the day, that's when the feast is to begin, right? And technically speaking, it goes through the 15th. I got a calendar right here. So from the 15th to the 21st, they call it unleavened bread, but the whole thing is the feast of Pasach. The whole thing. Okay? And we do these things in remembrance of him, yeah? This is that which Yahuwah commanded you, that you should observe it in between the evenings, and it is not permissible to slay it during any period of light, but during the period bordering on the evening, and let them eat it at the time of the evening until the third part of the night. So you have 4 watches in the night, and once you get to the very last part of the night, you're supposed to burn the rest of it up. Nothing is supposed to remain unto the next day, right? Whatsoever is left over of all its flesh from that third part of the night onwards, let them burn it all up with fire. You see what I mean? And they shall not cook it with water, nor shall they eat it raw, but roast it with fire. So we have actually multiple feasts where we're commanded to make an offering by fire unto Yahuwah. I mean, you do you, bro. That's what my family and I do. That's what we seek to do. You know what I mean? Baruk Yahuah. They shall eat it with diligence. The head with the inwards thereof and its feet, they shall roast it with fire and not break any bone thereof. Listen to this. For the children of Yashar'Al, no bone shall be crushed. That is a promise. That's amazing. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You can't even smell no fire on them. They passed right through the furnace, unscathed, unharmed. Out came the pestilence. Out came the plague, grievous upon Egypt. Not a single house was untouched, but there Yashar'Al was, eating and drinking and giving thanks, remembering their king. Not a single bone broken. See? Baruk Yahuah, y'all. Come on. For this reason, Yahuwah commanded the children of Yashar'Al to observe the Pasach on the day of its fixed time, and they shall not break a bone thereof, for it is a feast day, a day commanded, and there may be no passing over from day to day or month to month, but on the day of its feast let it be observed. You don't skip it, you don't break it, you don't forget about it. This is perpetual. It's telling you over and over, right? Now, the Qadash angel is telling to Masha, right? And do you, Masha, command the children of Yashar'Al to observe the Pasach throughout their days, every year, once a year, on the day of its fixed time. It shall come for a memorial, well-pleasing before Yahuwah, and no plague shall come upon you to slay you or smite you in the year that you celebrate the Pasach in its season, in every respect according to this commandment. Sounds important to me, bro. And they shall not eat it outside the sanctuary of Yahuwah. Now this is I want to warn you right now, because I want to get some scriptures to clarify some things, because I think there could be stumbling block for some weaker people here. Listen, and then we'll talk about it. They shall not eat it outside the sanctuary of Yahuwah, but before the sanctuary of Yahuwah. And all the people of the assembly of Yashar'Al shall celebrate it in its appointed season. So we have in the commandments regarding the feast, we have certain things. You have something called a Qadash assembly. Qadash assembly. That means it's only for the true believers. You don't open it up to invite guests and do the, it ain't a time to try and win people over to the way. This is a Qadash assembly, right? So right here it says, you shall not eat it outside the sanctuary of Yahuwah. In other words, don't go outside of Yashar'Al to do it. And also all the people are required. So you can't skipsies. They even have a makeup day. In the second month, on the 14th, is a makeup opportunity in case for some reason you couldn't come. And that's also in the Thurah, because Masha asked Yahuwah what to do. There was some servants who became unclean because they had to touch an unalived body and they couldn't partake. They weren't clean for the feast. So it was given as an ordinance there in the second month on the 14th to do everything exactly the same, follow it exactly the same, and they have like a makeup day, and that's on the calendar also. Okay, Baruk Yahuah. Every man who has come upon its day shall eat it in the sanctuary of Elohim before Yahuwah, from 20 years old and upwards. That's why I can't remember when it came up, and it's another place too. I think there's another witness who had this question, like, well, when do you technically become a man? 20. That's when you're counted, and that's when it's commanded of you. Right here in regards to the Pasach. For thus it is written and ordained that they should eat it in the sanctuary of Yahuwah. So, let me share some scripture with you guys real quick. Didn't mean to close the tab. I don't know why that's there. Anyway, hopefully I can skip that. Okay, so this is going to be from Yahusha. They call Joshua, right? Son of Nun. Chapter 24, verse 14 and 15. Now therefore, fear Yahuwah, serve him in sincerity and in truth. Put away the Elohim of your fathers that they served on the other side of the flood in Egypt, and serve Yahuwah. If it seems evil unto you to serve Yahuwah, choose this day who you will serve, whether it be the Elohims of your fathers that they served on the other side of the flood, the Elohim of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahuwah. Okay? So I don't struggle with this at all. Right? This is Yahuwah's house. You know what I'm saying? And there's more. It gets more, guys. The book of Abrim, chapter 3, verses 1 through 6, it reads, Wherefore, Qadash, brothers, partakers in the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our profession, Yahusha HaMashiach, Malak Sadak, who is filled with Amunah, appointed, as also Masha filled with Amunah, in all of his house. For this man was counted worthy and more of esteem than Masha, insomuch as he who hath builded the house hath more esteem than the house itself. Who's the builder of the house? Yahusha HaMashiach. Because he's Yahuwah. Okay? Get it right. For this one is counted more worthy than Masha. Every house is builded by some man. Okay? Let's do a little logic. But he that built all things is Elohim. So of course, Yahusha is more than any man. Any man, every man, more. Baruk Yahuah. Masha verily, filled with Amunah in all of his house, a servant, for a testimony of those things which are to be spoken after. But HaMashiach, as a son over his own house, whose house we are. We are his house. Do you see? If we hold fast to the confidence and rejoicing of the hope, firm until the end. Finish the race, family. Persevere all the way to the end. No matter what the enemy does, don't you shrink back. Don't you become fearful. Don't you lose your Amunah. Have Amunah like Abraham, right? up into unaliving. So we have witnesses in the scripture that also destroy these people who come out and say, oh, you can't keep the feast because you're not in the land. Oh, you can't keep the feast because the temple's destroyed. Do you not know that you are the temple? If you are the temple, if you hold fast to the commandments and trust in Yahusha. You know what I'm saying? All right, Baruk Yahuah. Thank you, Abba. Thank you, Abba. When the children of Yashar'Al come into the land which they are to possess, into the land of Canaan. Now, if you know anything about this early part of this book, the Canaanites came and squatted in Sham's land. It's not Canaan's land, it's Sham's. Okay? Hallelujah. And also building up the tabernacle of Yahuwah in the midst of the land in one of their tribes until the sanctuary of Yahuwah has been built in the land. Let them come and celebrate the Pasach in the midst of the tabernacle of Yahuwah, and let them slay it before Yahuwah from year to year. And in those days, when the house has been built in the name of Yahuwah in the land of their inheritance, they shall go there and slay the Pasach in the evening, at the going down of the sun in the third part of the day. And they shall offer its blood on the threshold of the altar, and shall place its fat on the fire which is upon the altar, and they shall eat of its flesh roasted with fire in the court of the house which has been sanctified in the name of Yahuwah. And so, is Yahuwah's name over your household? Is Yahuwah's name over you a house that houses his Ruach? You got to ask yourself that. You better reconcile that within yourself. Okay? And they may not celebrate the Pasach in their cities, nor in any place save before the tabernacle of Yahuwah. So you can't go over to your co-worker's place, who's a pagan, who doesn't believe in any of these things, and just be like, yeah, we're going to roast the lamb. I'm going to bring the lamb. We're going to do the thing. It ain't for them. It's for the Qadashayam of Yasharal. It is to happen at a house that serves Yahuwah. Okay, that's what Qadash assembly is. It's important, you guys. Before his house where his name has dwelt, they shall not go astray from Yahuwah. It's a feast unto Yahuwah. It's not just a party you have with your buddies from work or some, I don't know. Not that I don't know anybody that would do that, but I'm sure there's somebody, right? And do you, Masha, command the children of Yashar'Al to observe the ordinances of the Pasach, as it is commanded unto you. Declare you unto them every year, and the day of its days. And it says the feast of matzah, which is unleavened bread, that they should eat matzah 7 days, and that they should observe its feast, and that they bring an oblation every day during those 7 days of joy before Yahuwah on the altar of Elohim, like I said. Feast of unleavened bread, offer made by fire every day. Saku, offer made by fire every day. Okay? For you celebrate this feast with haste when you went out of the land of Mitzrayim until you entered into the wilderness of Shur. For on the shore of the sea ye completed it. So during the Pasach we need to be mindful too of his deliverance and rescuing us from the grip of Hashatan. Yeah, and this world, the beast system. This is our last chapter, family. Chapter 50. Baruk Yahuah. All right. After this Thurah, I made known to you the days of the Shabbaths in the desert of Sinai, which is between Elam and Sinai. The Qadash angel is telling Masha, I told you of the Shabbath of the land of Mount Sinai, and I told you of the Jubilee year in the Shabbaths of years. But the year thereof have I not told you till you enter into the land which you are to possess. Let me just say something to whoever's meant to hear this out here. As you walk in obedience to Yahuwah and you continue to grow, you continue to become cleansed. You draw closer to him, he draws closer to you. He starts to share more things with you. It's very similar to this right here. This Malak is telling Masha, like, I told you this information, but I didn't tell you everything yet. I'm going to tell you some more stuff. You start getting these other things right, you're going to start getting more information. All right? Hey, Yaakov, Nazarene, welcome. I don't know if you've been here for very long because I kind of covered some of that in the beginning part, right? You wouldn't take it from house to house. You also wouldn't do it at an unbeliever's house at all, right? But it would be well for Yashar'Al to gather together at a believer's house and esteem the feast together. That would be well. The issue that I see here is that we're all so scattered. It's very difficult for us to actually get together. Yahuwah's always doing stuff on his Moedim. Just like with Nach and the flood. And in the new moon of 1, 4, 7, 10, all these major things were happening. So I'm always watching at those appointed times because Yahuwah will probably do something else. Because that's how he is. He has his own times that he does things. You know what I'm saying? And this anniversary of this Exodus, everything that happened here, is critical, is essential. Yahusha willingly laid his life down on the stake as our Pasach. He came to the city gates of Jerusalem on the 10th day of the first month. Right? Hosanna, they said, in the highest, right? T, that's a tough question that you ask me. If your husband doesn't believe, but you do, can he still take part if he's willingly? Well, how is he supposed to, how can he possibly do the Pasach as an unbeliever? It should be the male that does that. Do you not agree that that should be the male that does that? I would think that it is. I'm gonna have to like seek the Father on that for understanding, because I know I got sisters out here who don't have Qadash husbands. And so how's he supposed to lead in the Pasach, right? Dang, sis, that one's tough. That one's really tough. Because even if I had a Qadash sister, she's married, her husband doesn't want to do Pasach. So she asked Mayasha, hey, can I do Pasach with you guys? And Mayasha says, hey, can she do Pasach with us? And I'm like, well, you want to allow, if she's a believer, you want to allow it. How is that going to end up affecting her husband? How's he going to receive that? This thing's taking place at the night. You know what I mean? I'm going to get with Abba about it. I'm going to get with my Shah about it too. T, can you email me? Do you know my email? Baby, will you please share my email with her right there? Will you email me to help me to remember? Because I want to give you an answer to that question. That is a great question. Wherefore I have ordained for you the year, weeks, and the years and the jubilees that are 49 jubilees from the day of Adam unto this day, and 1 week and 2 years, and there are yet 40 years to come for learning the commandments of Yahuwah until they pass over. Abarim, pass over into the land of Canaan, crossing the Yarden to the west. I mean, brother, yes, the non-believing spouse may be made by her obedience and her palals, but it's not like it just happens like that, right? And in circumcision, what is the circumcision? The inward parts, the circumcision of the heart, right? Stranger, you use the word stranger. The lost sheep of Yashar'Al are considered strangers until they're brought in, right? but they're actually children of the promise who are lost. So that's interesting, not to take part. But then an unbelieving spouse is made, and I think you want to say Qadash right there. I'm not sure what Hudash is. Is that meaning righteous? Which would be like this, right? Qadash, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me see where I was. Okay, so they're giving a time frame here. And listen to this also now. See how the Malach is saying, I have ordained? You see that? It keeps on going like that. I, we. Because the Qadash angels are doing everything in the will of Yahuwah. It's like being one with Yahuwah, right? It's ultimately how we are to be. As kings and priests forever after the order of Malach Zadok. Being one with him in all righteousness. This is the Palal that Yahusha made to Yahuwah, is John 17, right? Wherefore I have ordained for you the year weeks and the years and the Yubalym. There are 49 Yubalym from the day of Adam unto this day, and 1 week and 2 years, and they are yet 40 years to come. So it sounds like that's getting exactly to 50, right? By the time all that's completed, would it not be exactly at 50, 2500, the year 2500? One Yashar'Al crosses over the Yardan. And the Yubalym shall pass by until Yashar'Al is cleansed from all guilt of fornication, uncleanness, pollution, hatah, error, and dwells with confidence in all the land, and there shall be no more hashatan or any evil one, and the land shall be clean from that time forevermore. So remember how we were like talking about that it's all a physical manifestation of a spiritual truth of the last days that we're in now. Everything that happened, Exodus, Pasach, the plague that came upon all the non-believers. Listen to this verse again. And the Yubalym shall pass by until Yashar'Al is cleansed from all guilt of fornication, uncleanness, pollution, hatah, error, dwelling in confidence in all the land, and there shall be no more shaitan or any evil one, and the land shall be clean from that time forevermore. New Jerusalem, right? Everything else cast into the lake of fire. That's what it sounds like. I think that we should be looking at that as a shadow, as a physical manifestation of what's coming. It seems like very, very soon to me. It seems like so very soon, you guys. And behold, the commandment regarding the Shabbos, I have written them down for you, and all the judgments of its Thurah. 6 days shall you labor, but on the 7th day it is the Shabbat of Yahuwah Elohaikum. In it you shall do no manner of work, you and your sons and your male servants and your maid servants and all your cattle and the sojourners also who are with you. And the one that does any work on it shall perish. Whosoever desecrates that day, whoever lies with his Asha. Okay? Sometimes people ask this question and wonder about this. I know that I have before. An answer is very clearly given right here. Okay? Abstain. Right? Whosoever says he will do something on it, that he will go out and depart on a journey in regards to any buying or selling, or whosoever draws water therein, which he had not prepared for himself on the 6th day. You should make all your preparations on the 6th day. Shouldn't be cooking something from scratch. Warm something up, right? Whosoever takes up any burden to carry it out of his tent or out of his house shall perish. You shall do no work whatsoever on the Shabbat, save what ye have prepared for yourselves on the 6th day, so as to eat and to drink. Rest, guard the Shabbat from all work on the day, and Baruk Yahuah, who has given you a day, a feast, a Qadash day, a placed apart day, a day of the Qadash kingdom for all Yashar'Al in this day among their days forever. For it is the great honor which Yahuwah has given Yashar'Al that they should eat and drink and be satisfied on this feast day, resting from all their labors which belong to the labors of the children of Adam, say burning frankincense, bringing in oblations, sacrifice before Yahuwah for days and for Shabbats. This work alone shall be done on the Shabbat in the sanctuary of Yahuwah, that they may atone for Yashar'Al with sacrifice continually from day to day, for a memorial well-pleasing before Yahuwah, and that he may receive them always from day to day according as you have been commanded. Every man who does any work thereon, or goes on a journey, or tills his farm, whether in his house or any other place, whosoever lights a fire, or rides on any beast, or travels by ship of the sea, or whosoever strikes or unalives anything, slaughtering a beast or a bird, or whosoever catches an animal, a bird or a fish, or whosoever fasts or makes war on the Shabbats.
You can't fast on the Shabbat.
Well, I would say that you don't initiate a fast. You don't
Sorry, I'm just being sarcastic.
start a fast. No, it's a great question. A lot of people wonder, how did somebody fast for a really, really long time? You're going to cross over a Shabbat at some point. So that's what I'd say about that. Just like with kindling a fire, when I looked at how many different times, how many different Abrith words were translated as kindle?
5.
I found so many. Go check out the video.
So much?
Kindle a fire. So much. Yes, multiples of, and they made them all kindle. So, if you think about it, they already had like a fire going, and they would already have sticks there prepared. They could just add to it. You got say like unleavened bread, and also saku, where you're gonna have an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. Well, but then you're like, but wait, but this is one's falling on the Shabbat. Because if you have a feast for 7 days, it's gonna cross over a Shabbat, no matter if you got the right Shabbat or not, right? So then you're like, oh, but I can't make an offering by fire. Oh yeah, you can, and it just said right here that you could do your sacrifices, right? Except for burning frankincense, bringing oblation and sacrifice before Yahuwah, right?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, let me just finish because I'm almost done. So the fasting thing, she brought it up. If you're already on a fast, you can you can push through on your fasting. The man who does any of these things on the Shabbat shall perish, so that the children of Yashar'Al shall observe the Shabbat according to the commandment regarding the Shabbats of the land, that is written on sapphire stones, which he gave into my hands, that I should write out for you the Thurah of the seasons, and the seasons according to the divisions of their days. Herewith is completed the account of the divisions of the days. Okay, what is it, baby?
So I turned the new one on. And it started connecting to transfer like right away.
Yeah.
So I've been stuck. I can hear you,
okay,
but I can't do anything.
That's
so
okay.
the girl that you said to put your email address up there, I couldn't do it, but I could hear you, and I was like, I can't. I'm stuck.
Okay. Thank you for telling me. All right. So T, you wrote, I thought you could fast on Shabbat, learn something new. You don't start a fast, is what we said, right? But let's say you're already on a fast. I mean, that'd be like, we got some folks in the scripture that fasted for like 40 days.
Yeah, and
they crossed over several Shabbats, and they're still Qadash.
There's some females who I've heard say that Yahusha, who was in the wilderness, must have broken his fast for Shabbat and then started again.
I got a lot of catching up to do right now, so I'm sorry.
That's a hard no. He did not stop his fast on Shabbat and eat in the wilderness.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I get overstimulated. I think I have some issues with that, and I need to...
There's a lot of issues with that, yeah.
There's a lot of issues with me feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated right now. So
Sorry,
T...
I was just trying to answer.
T, I gave you the email. My Asha couldn't because she can't right now. So please email me. And Edged is asking about using a stove. I think you're going to get a lot of different answers by that. If you're just basically pushing a button to warm something up, does that work for you? So seek out clarification with Yahuwah. Remember that there's some real legalists out here that create all these extra things adding to what the scripture actually says. Okay? Our policy here in my household is that we make all the preparations the day before, but then we just warm something up. It's as simple as pressing a button. I have a thing over here called a Berkey. It filters water. We make sure it's full. For me to draw a little water is just turning the thing and getting water. It's not work for me. But if I wanted to, I got to refill it, I got to put all the water in it, we don't want to do that on the Shabbat. Okay, so hopefully that helps to understand a little bit. During the feast, when I have a fire going outside and I get up and I'm just throwing a little bit of the extra wood, I already have it right there, keep the fire going. That's not kindling a fire to keep the fire going. Does that make sense? But going out and gathering all the wood and getting it started up, then that's work. And that's what you should avoid. And I'm trying, this guy asked me a question. He wants me to go to Exodus chapter 12 and read 6 verses. And I want to do it. Are you still in here, Yaakov Natsarim? Thank you for your patience. I feel like there's a little bit of testing going on with that person, and so I want to try and. I'm not running from you. I just wanted to finish. We were in the book of Yubalym for 10 weeks, and that was literally at the end. So let's go to what you're saying, Exodus chapter 12, verse 43 through 49. Did he ever answer and say if he's still there? Oh, he's with, okay, Baruk Atah.
While you're looking that up, I just want to say to T, you can message me too. If you need my husband's email, I can send it to you in that too. In the messages. I know
okay, baby. Yep, and I just put it in the chat for her.
Yeah, okay.
And Yahuwah said unto Masha and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Pasach, there shall no stranger eat thereof. Okay, so what are they talking about, a stranger? Somebody who's not in the agreement, in the oath. Mm-hmm. They're not married to Yahuwah, right? That's my understanding. Hope you have the same understanding. This ain't a time to be trying to witness to people. This ain't a time to be trying to win someone to Hamashiach kind of a thing. Okay, this is a Qadash gathering. It is for us, family. Okay, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. So in this context, they're circumcised. They're your servant. They're almost like a form of property. Like when you drive the nail through their ear of the doorpost when they decide that they want to remain with you. This is a pretty different thing than what we're living in. And I would recommend that you don't use that word, because a circle of witches gather together and may enter into an agreement together, and it's called a coven. I don't like that word, and I don't think that we should be using it. I'm just saying, we could say oath, we could say agreement. Really what it is it's like a marriage contract. That's ultimately what it is. We're agreeing that he will be our husbandman. We will be his people. Whatever he says to do, that we shall do, right? And so that's what happened at Mount Sinai when they sprinkled the blood on the people. They said, I do, to Yahuwah. That's what they did. They said, I do, right? They took a vow. And you will see this with Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. As we went through the book of Yubalym, you saw them renewing the feast. Shabuot happens in the 3rd month, right? Shabuot is the renewing of your wedding vow to Yahuwah. That's basically what that is. And I have a video on that too. I would love for you to watch it and check it out, because Nach celebrated Shabuot, Masha and the people at Mount Sinai, Kapha in the book of Acts. This was all Shabuot. And let me keep reading a little bit more what you have here, because you gave me 6 verses. So a foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. So you can understand that basically, like you said, they're not in the agreement. They're not in the oath. They're not in the family. Right? They're not. May they be, but they're not right now. So that we got to have that understanding. If one house shall it be eaten, you shall not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad. So it ain't like a house party. You ain't going from party to party. You don't go bouncing from Pasach to Pasach. Like when you're going to have the Pasach, you prepare a place and you have the Pasach there, and that's where you go. That's where you are. That's it. Does that make sense? I mean, one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry it forth all around the camp, right? Neither shall you break a bone of it. Why is it that there's no bone broken? Remember, I don't know if you were here, we just talked about it in chapter 49 of Yubalym. Because not a bone of Yashar'Al will be broken. I love that. I always thought that it had everything to do with Yahusha and that alone, right? That's so wild. That's so wild. Okay, all the assembly of Yashar'Al shall keep it, meaning that no, like I said, no skipsies. No one's taking it off. If you're in the agreement, if you're in the family, if you're Yashar'Al, you're keeping it. All of us are. Okay? And when a stranger shall sojourn with you and will keep the Pasach to Yahuah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. Okay? There's one more verse. And Thurah shall be to him that is homeborn as unto the stranger. So if they want to come in, let them clean themselves and come in, right? That you could bring them into the agreement, and it's saying that they're as the natural born. So if you have a sojourner who dwells within your gates and he guards the feasts and the commandments with you, and he has a son born, his son being born is like a natural born Yashar'Al, because he's in it. He's in. All right. That's why we don't shut up the kingdom Most High. We don't look at somebody and be like, oh you Esau, oh you Edom, you can't be in. That's not how that works, right? We're known by our fruits. If somebody loves Yahusha, his sacrifice, they want to esteem the Pasach and remember him always for what he did, then they got other things they got to do. That ain't the day to do it. We need to see some proof and some evidence and some. What is the circumcision? Putting off of the flesh. Let me see that you have actually like removed all those things from yourself, right? The lust of the flesh, the pride of life. You have a circumcision of your heart that you want to walk in righteousness. I can't know you, bro, unless we walk together. If I walk with you, then I get to know you. I see how you handle things. I see how you handle conflict, how you resolve issues. What you are. Like, are you Thurah? Are you in the light? Are you in the way or not, right? I don't know if that helps, but I hope it does. Yes, honey.
So just a very temporal aspect of this, but it's interesting how we've arranged our nations and our countries in a similar fashion. Like, I'm a firstborn of the generation of my father of migrants, right? He sojourned to the United States. He was not born here. He was not a natural born citizen, but I am.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. That's kind of interesting. As fallen as the world is, and as tyrannical as the beast system is, there are certain aspects of our laws that come from Thurah.
Right.
Just like paying back with like retribution, like paying back with some to make it right, to make amends for it, right?
Yeah.
And how there's also different degrees of punishment. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see if I can pull that scripture right off the top of my head. You know, you may receive a different amount of lashes, or you may have a higher expectation placed upon you because of your understanding. Like I like to say, if you know better, do better, right? Because you can't think that the Father's going to just wink at your transgression unless you did it in ignorance. Look at that name. Wow. You can't
I wish I could.
K-A-R-A Zorel. Okay, that came from the Indians that were Hebrew, and we took some of their understanding of governing. So, kind of true. Couple things.
And why do Australians do it?
Excuse me? What'd you say? Say it again, honey.
Why do other nations do the same thing then if it came from Indians?
Some of the Native Americans could be lost sons of Yashar'Al who kept some traditions from their fathers. So they didn't invent those necessarily. If they already exist in Thurah, then they're more ancient than what we're calling Native Americans here in this comment that he made. The word Hebrew is a Latin word. It's probably 17th century. You missed some of that too, because Aber is a forefather of Abraham, but he is not called out as Abram was called out and renamed Abraham. And Abraham was given a promise that says, I will Baruch those who Baruch you and curse those who curse you. So those who are in the family, the agreement, the oath, are Abarim, and they're referred to such in the scriptures. Aleph, Bat, Resh, Yod, Mem, Abarim. Okay? Which means crossed over peoples. That's what it means, crossed over peoples. All this stuff with Eber and Hebrew and all that, you got to understand the work of these lying scribes. They've done some serious damage. They created a whole new set of letters with vowel points. And from there, they made new pronunciations of words. Yahuwah never gave us vowel points. He never gave us vowel points. Right? So if you have a samak, a ayin, and a rash, then you actually only have one possible word in abrith. In the ancient pictographs, you have one word, sar. And so, and they're like, oh, but we put vowel points here, and so now it's called this. You have Qadash, Kadush, these, right? If there's no ua, why are you saying ush, right? And this is how they made the confusion about, oh, we're going to say that it means moon this time, but over here we're saying it means month. It's the same three letters. They don't get to do that. That's a lying scribe. Because Yahuwah never gave us vowel points, so when you see those three letters, it's one word that it can be. Now that word is very rich. It has tremendous power. It has a lot of different definitions and understanding and usage that can go with it. Abrith words can be verbs and nouns at the same time, because the context of that it's being used and the understanding that we have when we speak it or when we read it is able to fill in all those gaps automatically. We don't have to follow the same grammatical laws that exist in Anglit, which is a cursed tongue, which is a language of confusion. You did not offend me. My zeal is not offense. I just been talking about this word Hebrew for a couple years, and I've been trying to share this information for a long time. But so a lot of the natives can be descendants of Yashar'Al, but not all. We are also mixed, lost, scattered. You could pick another culture somewhere. Pick another culture somewhere that has characteristics of Yashar'Al. Japanese. They're everywhere. We're everywhere.
Just not all heavily, like the same way, not all heavily melanated, or what we call black people, are Yehuda. Exactly.
People aren't going to really, you don't really know if you're a Hamite, a Canaanite. Even Ashkenaz can marry into Sham, and that you can have all that going on. I'm really wanting to look and see what you're made of. You know?
Yeah, we don't know them by their skin tone.
Yeah, it's your words, actions, deeds, thoughts. You're known by your fruits, right? We can't judge it just by looking at externals. Okay, that's actually to judge in the flesh. The scripture commands us to judge a righteous judgment. Well, in order to judge a righteous judgment, you have to compare someone to the standard of righteousness, which is the Thurah. So that's the standard by which we judge. Thurah. Not by our feelings, not by our emotions, and not by some false doctrines that we see on the internet where people twist scripture. They just go around cherry picking stuff here and there, but they can't actually put it all together. What's this thing I heard some of these guys saying? Stop dancing around. They made this accusation. Stop dancing around. Let's stick to one verse at a time. I understand, kinda. But if you were in the upper room and Kafas stood up and started laying out his dialogue that he laid out, where he was going through the historical record of Yashar'Al, passing through hundreds of years in just a few moments of time speaking. Imagine if they were like, oh, you gotta stop jumping around. He's connecting all the dots. He understands what he's talking about, so it's just coming out of him. You know what I'm saying? That's well. Nightmares stopped when I gave up on JC. It was an experiment and it worked. Well, Hallelujah, Yahuah, that's the name of a foreign mighty one. That means hail Zeus. So, what we talking about? We just finished going through the book of Yubalym, and we're talking some about the feast of Pasach. See that? Remember the Pasach. Plus, I'm just trying to answer questions. You never heard about it. Well, if you're interested, you could go check out. All the videos are uploaded on the YouTube channel. Only know what Pasach is? You know what Pasach is? Hallelujah Yahuah. Baruk Yahuah. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so did anybody else have a question or a comment or whatnot? I want to say again really quick that I'm going to be sending out an email to everybody who's in the list with the link to Wheels Within Wheels, because I think it's important for us to have understanding in a time when there's going to be great deception about aliens and UFOs and all that, Project Blue Beam. I want everybody to have an opportunity to be rooted in the scriptures and have true understanding of what wheels within wheels are whirlwinds within whirlwinds. And I go through breaking down 7 different Abrith words and showing the context and how they're all in perfect alignment with the judgment storm that's coming upon us, right? Yeah. So if you're not on the email list and you want to be, then go to my email in the linked tree or in the description of any YouTube video, and email me and I'll add you to the list and you'll be included. And we're going to be releasing the calendar of that's coming up 2025. I'll tell you the first day of the year.
16.
March 13th, 2025 is the first day of Abib coming up in our new year. We're currently in the 11th month. So we have the rest of the 11th month, then we have the 12th month, and then it's going to be starting a new year on Yahuwah's Moedim. And what's really interesting too this year is I see right here, the 13th is the first day. The night watch of the second day, the moon is full. So that means the very next day, which is the 3rd day, is the new moon day, the first day of spring. Baruk Yahuah. And that is no servile work, Qadash assembly, offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, and blow the shupar. Shupar is the ram's horn, not a gazelle's horn or an antelope's horn, just a ram's horn, like this one. Okay? So, in Christianity, they have a thing called Feast of Trumpets. Well, first of all, that's just like some kind of Roman understanding anyways, a trumpet. Some kind of metal horn. That's not Yashar'Al. That's not our history. That's not the scriptures. That's pretty gross, actually, that they do that to the word of Yahuwah. It's a ram's horn. Just like a Yubal. Yubalym means ram's horn. Shupar, ram's horn. So there's not one day of trumpets. There are 4 feasts of Shupar. which are seasonal new moon days, as in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So we have the 7th day Shabbats, 52 times a year, never changes, never breaks, never moves, always right there, boom, 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 boom. Then you have the fixed feast days, like the Pasach is fixed. Unleavened bread is fixed. Yom Kippur is fixed. Saku, these are all fixed. The new moon days vary a little with the moon's cycle, but they're always in month 1, 4, 7, and 10. Always. The first full moon of the first month is the sign in the Shemayim that the next day is a new moon day. That's how that works. Shalom Ak, Shalom Mishpachah. Welcome saved by Yahusha. Shalom, welcome. Am I following you? I won't be following you. Let me follow you back. Great to see you. Shabbat Shalom. You're completely confused? Well, maybe that's because people have been teaching you things that are not true. So, when you know the truth, then you can have shalom with the truth. I'm trying to give you all the truth I can. I got a playlist on Calendar if you want to go check that out. There's like probably 440 videos on the YouTube channel, so you could start checking some stuff out and get some understanding. Get a notepad and a pen and follow along. We have a sister in Tasmania who told me that she said, "Am I the only one who watches your videos over and over and takes notes?" And that was really touching, because like when I started coming into this truth, I used to do the same thing kind of with the Watchman Yeshai from the Watchman of Yahuah. Yeah. I'll watch his videos, man. I don't care. If you told me his video was 4 long, I'm like, yes! Right?
Yeah.
I don't need 20-minute videos. I'm not about all that stuff. I want some meat. Give me some meat. So that's what I try to bring, family. Meat. Most of the videos are 2 hours, 3 hours, and going through a lot of stuff, like breaking down all the Abrith words, showing how the lying scribes mispronounce words, change definitions of words, the damage that they've done to the Anglit babbles, you know? Yeah, the churches lie to everybody, bro. That's why we got to come out of them completely. Every 501c3 institution in the world is imprisoning the minds and the hearts of people, teaching them lies, doctrines of devils. Baruk Yahuah, thank you for the follow. Welcome. All right, well, did you want to ask me anything there, Zara? I want to tell you something, but I don't want you to be offended. But you probably will. Here's what you should do. Go look at the letters for Allahim. I'll tell you. Go look at the letters. That last word that you have in your name right there is Aleph Lamed, not E. There is no E in Abrith. There's no J. There's no V. There's no W. There's no I. And there's no E. Okay? It's Allahim, just like Abba. Aleph. Ah. Abba. All. A-L. Okay? It's going to be crazy. You ready? E-L is the name of a foreign mighty one. And in the book of Shamuth it says, you shall not have the names of foreign mighty ones upon your lips.
23:13.
Exodus 23:13. That's right, baby. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Just like J-E-S-U-S is the name of a foreign mighty one, E-L-O-Him is the name of a foreign mighty one, E-L. And listen to this. It gets even better. Yarmiyahu the prophet, it's written, your fathers will forget my name for Baal. L-O-R-D is a name for Baal. And E-L-O-Him is a name for Baal. So whether it's Christianity or Judaism, either way, they have the name of Baal on their lips, not Yahuwah.
And Yahweh is a son of El.
Yahweh is a son of El. That's right. It's so true. Bro, please go to my YouTube channel. Look for Clean Lips. Clean Lips 1 and Clean Lips 2, where there's over 250 slides showing you names of foreign mighty ones, curses, and what the clean words are. Because I'm not trying to just tell people don't say this and don't say that. I'm also trying to tell them what they can say instead.
And why we don't say it.
Yeah, they used pronunciation changes to cause confusion. That's why they invented vowel points. And also with the vowel points, they can also change pronunciations, which then enables them to make new definitions for the new words that they just invented. You see? And then from there, they can change what your scripture means because they use the different definitions whenever they want. It's a real big problem. So this is how, T, thank you, this is how I would write it. That is Elohim, and that is clean. That is Kadash. See, there's really not an O. So there is no Elohim either. You're welcome. It's my honor to share. I'm called to share these things. And I've been doing it for a while, so go back and check out some of the old stuff. And, you know, if you have questions, email me. Like, I seriously will try to answer every question. I really will. I think you're trying to say Tada Rabba, right? And which is thank you very much. And you're welcome. It's my honor. So that would be like this. Oops. Oh yeah, there we go. Tada Rabba. That means thank you very much. So what's wronger, Zor or El? Oh, I don't know what Zor even is. It doesn't sound clean to me though, bro. I don't know what that is. It's your name. I don't know. The whole thing possibly, I mean, what are you trying to say? What is it? I don't know. But definitely you got to get rid of the EL like immediately. Immediately. That's got to go. Oh, that's your real name? All right. Well, you know what? We can go find right now in the scriptures real people who were named after devils and they didn't know. It's not their fault. They didn't pick their name. You didn't pick that name, did you? Tada Rabba, you're very welcome, T. And please email me, right? You got the email. I gave it to you and my Shah said you could PM her. And that would be even better, right? My Sefer print is EL, but I read it AL. That's right. Larry, is that Larry?
Yep.
That's right, Larry.
I've crossed out.
That's my brother right there.
Where it says, like, even like how we were reading.
Oh, you can't see it.
The town, but.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
Right. I crossed out the EL. I crossed out everywhere where it says SET. Everywhere where it says Elohim.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I like to read out of the Safar a lot, and it's constantly putting EL, Elohim, Yashar'Al, all this. So I gotta change it all the time. Hey, Shalom, where are you from? Who that is? Where are you from? What does that say? Maya. Oh, I can't read it. Maya. Jamaica? You from Jamaica? Maya Dau of Yah. Shabbat Shalom, welcome in here. I have been considering changing my name to something. Praise Yahuwah. Yeah, let Yahuwah change your name if he calls you to do it. Absolutely. I know what that's all about. I don't like to go by my slave name, but I have to sometimes in the Matrix, and when I go to work, and when I pay my taxes, and all the things like from the Matrix, right? What is it? You feel it when you pay your taxes, when you go to Circa or whatever. Yeah, well, greetings. I'm in Washington State, and it's very much an honor to have you here. Moya, daughter of Yahuah, welcome. Akuthi, welcome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've CT, even that name. I think that's, if you go into the computer right now and type in that name and hit deity, you're probably going to see a four mighty one. Let's try it. Morpheus.
Sounds
There it is.
Yeah, Greek.
The Greek God of dreams. That's why I didn't say the name, because I try so hard. Ask my wife. She has to correct me all the time.
All the time.
I'll be like, honey, did you SET up the coffee pot?
And I'll
because
be like,
SET is
no, but I
hard.
arranged it for you.
Yeah, she's like, no, but I arranged it. I'm like, oh, I did it again. SET gets me like so much. A lot of them
and
I do okay.
FULL.
FULL is also very difficult.
That's one that I struggle with a lot.
But because it's actually PHUL, but if you realize PHUL sounds the same as FULL. And it is. Right there. Boom. Four mighty one. This is
Mitzri, right?
Olympic spirit of the moon.
Shh.
Yeah, they're all over the place. You guys want to listen to this? I'm going to try to blow someone's mind. So they took all these names of devils and put them in the book, right? Then they put them all in our language. All over the place, they're in our language. Think about
Even language isn't a clean word.
Even the word language is unclean. She's right.
It's tongues.
So think about the Spanish tongue. The most commonly used word in the Spanish tongue is probably the. Because we say the like all the time. The this, the that, the this, the that. So it could be LA or it could be EL, which is the Canaanite name for Baal. And they have to speak it unknowingly every time they say the this and the that and the that. And the...
Or even
it's crazy, dude.
Because of he and she, because like the she is Aya, the male is E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so even when I spell casting, spell, magic, witchcraft, a lot of different words, and you say the word HIJKMNOP, you end up saying it by spelling something to people all the time.
Even saying that word.
Right? Yep. The word that they like to use in Christianity all the time, they say gospel. If you look at the etymology, it means God's spell. Okay? Maybe that doesn't sound so unwell to you. Well, the word good, if you go look it up, it's the Norse God. God is the Babylonian deity of fortune, another demon. So whenever they say that word Gospel, they're talking about the trick of a demon. That's not the great news. The Basura of Yahuah in Yahusha. Right? That's not what the Basura is. Anyway, that, if you just believe in this devil right here,
go to the altar and say
you'll be delivered. Don't worry about all the commandments and the statutes. No, you don't have to do all that stuff. That was all nailed to the Babylonian sun-worshipping cross. Right? This is the lies that they teach people, you guys. It's crazy.
The Talmudic black cube unfolded.
Yeah, Larry. Because, bro, the lies are deep, right? And once we get on a mission to uncover lies and we start tearing down strongholds, dominions, it gets deep. My mind gets pretty blown when I think about all the countries conquered with the sword, forced into a tongue that was not their own by Latin kings, right? Made to speak the names of devils every time they say the this or the that. That's crazy, bro.
Two things.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, our native peoples, multiple of the nations, the First Peoples nations, would have their tongues removed if they didn't convert to the English.
Wow.
Yeah. Second thing, another one I found out, look up Serent. I don't even know how to spell it right. Serenity. Serenity.
What, the etymology?
How you do, like...
You said serenity?
Yeah. Deity.
Yeah, you guys, if you're not sure, you could literally just type in the word and then deity, and Google will tell you straight out. So it says that Irene is a Greek goddess of peace. That's also an unclean word.
Exactly.
Tranquility and serenity. So I think serenity, goddess of serenity. So this one's kind of like the name of the goddess is not serenity, but
Right.
she's the goddess of serenity. So I would go deeper on that one, and I would actually do, it's called etymology.
Yeah, I did the etymology and nothing came up.
Really?
Right, that's why I decided to do the Google search. And I can't look it up on my phone right now because it took screenshots.
So it says fair, calm, clear weather, Old French, Modern French, directly Latin, clearness, serenity. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything on that one. So let me go back. Somebody was asking a question about Basura.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're well. You're well. So it's H1309. So what I like to do is go H1309, and I like to look in the blue letter because I just prefer how the size of the letters. It's a little easier for me to reconcile. So, and then sometimes I got to use my letters right here, which you can't see. Darn it. Let me turn off the background. Wait, how do you do that? This one? We don't need that anymore because we're done with the Yubalym anyways. So these are the 22 letters, right? And that I use. So the first one is Bat. Then we have Shin. Then we have Uwa. Then we have a Rash. Then we have a Hey. So can you write this for me? Oh, you're not able to do it. Who's the one that asked me? Okay, right here. I'm going to reply to you in a comment. So it's like the letter, I write a capital letter if it's a real actual letter, and I'll breathe, and then a lowercase one because sometimes we have to use lowercase letters to fill in the gaps. Okay? So let me just make sure. Okay. So that's the word Basura. Basura, the great news. B, Bat, Sh, Shin, Rash, Uwa, Rash, Hey. Basura. You need the letters? Send me an email. If anybody emails me, I will send you a copy of this. It's free. If you email me, can you show me the calendar, the new page? I'll show you the first month of the new calendar too. If you email me, I'll give you a copy of this for free. You just print it out and you can hang it up on your wall or whatever you want to do. You could keep it as a background on your computer if you prefer that way. However, I got them both. I got it on the computer and we have it hanging up on the wall. Oops. Thank you, sweetheart. So this is the first month. You can see right here it says Abib. We have the Pasach lamb because we have the Feast of Pasach right here. So if you want a copy of this, it's 12 color pages. Email me. I'll send you that. You gonna search? Okay, search it out. Be a Berean. Do your due diligence, and that's well. Do that. Like there's just stuff in word searches. Like for example, Donald Trump came out and said that he was a stable genius. Stable genius. Father stirred me up. Abba stirred me up. I'm searching this out. The word stable basically comes back, its etymology, to mighty. Mighty. Strong. Unshakable. Unmovable. Stable. Mighty. Genius. Jinn. Demon. Mighty demon. He said, I am a mighty demon. And the whole world was like, he's just such a smart, he's just so, right?
Yeah, smart doesn't even mean what you think it means.
Oh yeah, smart is another one.
So a smart meter, a smart phone, a smart house, a smart car, all of these things. Smart means painful, to inflict pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, sis, I sent you the email. But just so everyone knows, if you go to the little bio, right? There's a LinkedIn that has my email.
Linktree.
Sorry, Linktree. Linktree has my email. Also, the website or the YouTube channel, Qadashayam of Yasharal, which I did have it up here a moment ago, and I kind of took it down. I'm gonna put it back up. Oh, maybe I want you guys to check this out. Okay, Qadashayam of Yasharal is the name of the YouTube channel. And this word Qadashayam is my righteous peoples. So it'd be like Yahuah saying, my righteous peoples, Yashar means upright, and all for Elohim. Yashar'Al means upright peoples of Elohim. That other word that they like to use, Israel, is actually 3 demon names in one name.
That's who they worship.
It's crazy, you guys. This stuff is crazy. That's who they worship. She's right. It is. Ra, all-seeing eye of Ra.
Isis.
El, Babylonian deity Canaanite name for Baal. And then Isis is literally what it is.
Ishtar.
Just like the symbol that they have, that they claim is the Star of Dawood, a righteous king of Yashar'Al, he don't have a star anywhere in the scripture. But there is a star in the scripture that they worship, that they shouldn't. That's called Ramphan, right? That's right, it goes back to Saturn worship, Saturnalia, that's right. Which is what Xmas goes back to. And even saying that instead is not better, because that's Saturn, which is Satan. So, you know, they dang near perverted everything. If you didn't watch this video yet, please go watch it. Wheels Within Wheels. It's on the YouTube channel. It's one of the newest ones. Actually, Maya Shah and I just went live last night, and we covered the gamut of topics, and that was fun. That was how long was that, honey? An hour and a half? 2 hours? I don't even know now.
2.
Well, Damon, they try. They try to ruin us, but they can only actually ruin the ones that Yahuah gives over to the reprobate mind. Because Yahuah will redeem all of his lost sheep of Yashar'Al, all of them. And Barak Yahuah for that, man. Praise him for that. Look at that. Look at how nasty this place is. He's delivering us from that. Not only is he going to get us out of this muck and mire and all this endless suffering, he's going to take us to everlasting joy and shalom. New bodies? I'm down for that. Right, down for a new body? Honey, you down for a new body?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm tired of this prosthetic leg. That thing hurts me. I don't like it. And now my other bones too, like my back, not wanting to get up because I'm old. Not that old, but
pretty old.
50 something.
Less than a week, you're going to be 52.
52.
On their calendar.
Not only that, look at the earth. All of creation is groaning and crying out to Yahuah for what they're doing to the air, food, water. It's crazy what they do. It's crazy what they do. He's going to make it all new, guys. He's going to make it all new. I'll send you the email right now. I just told you, like, how many ways did I just tell you to get you could get it? There you go, right there.
Pin it.
Oh, pin it. How do you pin it?
hold down on the comment and then hit pin.
I pin it and it disappears right away.
It takes a minute.
No, it shows up and then goes away. I'm just saying.
Oh.
It doesn't let me pin an email.
Oh, yeah, you have to do like @ and spell out .com. That's how I usually do it.
Yeah. Well, you can't help me right now because you're transitioning.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm not transitioning.
Well, I'm trying to say, it's the Shabbat and you shouldn't be like getting some new thing, you know what I mean? But she ordered herself a phone because her other phone was broken and it just showed up today and she's turning it on and letting it do its updates and whatever. So there, I don't have to. Larry says, I think it's wise to learn. I agree. And also that word HAPPY. What does HAPPY mean, honey?
HAPI.
Oh, yeah.
It's a foreign mighty one from Mitzrayim.
Mm-hmm. So check this out. Because it's the same with HOLY as HAPPY. It's not about the spelling, it's about the pronunciation, because the power is in the tongue. So we don't say HAPPY because it's actually a foreign mighty one. You can open up your web browser and check for yourself. In fact, like I said, watch the video that I have on clean lips.
It's one of the ones that I believe that Yahuwah plagued Mitzrayim with in the 10 plagues during the Exodus.
So it's not actually I'm spelling it wrong.
HAPI.
Yeah, I'm getting it wrong. So the way I understand it, actually it's a pagan festival. Let me try deity. Even that's probably not clean.
Yeah, it is right there.
So HAPI is, like my Ashah was saying, a foreign mighty one out of Egypt. Okay? He was a water and fertility god who was popular throughout ancient Egypt. It's very easy for you to look it up. He's blue. He's got like a pot belly on him. But every time we say HAPPY Friday or HAPPY whatever, everyone go to work and these people are speaking curses over each other all day long and it's just like. So yeah, all the days of the week are named after four mighty ones. All the pagan months are named after four mighty ones. Are everywhere. It's over our heads when we start out. It is. That's why I wanted to make the Clean Lips series, so I could make slides and show pictures so people could go through it multiple times and take notes, because we have to start learning a little bit at a time. It's going to take us a long time to get all these unclean words out of our mouths and to start speaking in a pure language, a pure tongue, just like the prophet Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 9 says. Yahuwah says, I will restore unto my people a pure language. I did create that calendar, yeah. I didn't draw it though. I use a computer. So like, I think it's like go to Microsoft Word and you can create a calendar. So I just make a blank one and then I just start filling it all in. So this is the second year or the third year? Third year. I'm so grateful to hear that, Akuthi. So my birthday is coming up, like my Shah was just saying, in a few days. I'm not going to be celebrating that. No way. Actually, for those who don't know, your birthday is the highest feast day in the Satanic
Church.
Or the Church of Satan.
Yeah.
That's their most esteemed day. Their number one philosophy, where you probably have heard this before, do as thou wilt. Right? Because it's all about worshiping their self. So a lot of times what happens on your birthday is like, oh, it's your special day, honey. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? Where do you want to go? You. Let's get a picture of you. Like, it's just all like that. Right? And so, you know, in a lot of ways, I was, even before coming into a lot of the feasts, it was like, well, I'm not going to esteem one day above another. This is a day that Yahuwah has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. But then now I do actually esteem the Shabbat above all the other days, and the feasts, Pasach, Saku, and all those things, because those are his days. Those are his high days. So they're my high days now, too, right? And that's how I think it should be for all of us, Baruk Yahuah. All right. I think I'm pretty much going to be at the end now, you guys. So I got to meet some of you guys for the first time. It's an honor to meet you. Welcome. Please follow. Please subscribe. The YouTube channel. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's tons of stuff there. And we're wanting to have a giveaway when we get to 1,000 subscribers. We just gave away a supper. Like, you know, when we hit... I can't remember.
Well, it was when we hit 500, but then it took us a little while to get it.
Yeah. So done. 500. So now, when we get to 1,000, we're actually this is going to be literally like one of a kind, because homemade. Like, Maya Shah is said that she will make a calendar like the one that we have in our home. I'm going to show them, honey. I'm going to show you guys. I did this before a few weeks ago. So it's, please don't mind that we're in a trailer and it's kind of small, but it's up here hanging. There's actually a stick up there, and all those 12 months are coming down off of there. The first one on the left, it's black. That's the first month. Then number 2 and 3 are white. Number 4 is black. 5, 6, then it goes black again. So the black ones are the new moon months. So those are months 1, 4, 7, and 10. The blue beads that are on there represent the Shabbat days. Those brown ones that you see like a week, 7 at a time, those are the feasts. You have unleavened bread and Pasach and stuff like that. And then there's like, she has made these little flower clip things like this. Feather clip things like this, where you can mark where the new moons are going to be, and also one to do your daily count. Is there one up there right now for the daily count?
Yeah, I just can't reach it.
It's that feather right there, if you can see it coming down. So basically, to summarize about the calendar, so making that means that you can use it every single year. The length of the months and the placement of the months never changes. The number of days in a year never changes. The location of the fixed feast days never move. So you just have 4 clips that you move each year depending on when the full moon is in month 1, 4, 7, 10. So you just move those, and once you get them where they go, then you're done. And then you could have another one that you could move just to keep track of where you are. But no, I don't sell those beads, and I don't believe in that bead calendar, and I don't believe in a lot of the doctrine that those people teach. And thank you for asking, but I don't really want to get too much into that. But I will say that a lot of people think that they have to go by the signs in the heavens to tell them everything about the calendar, but it's really actually not true, because I'll tell you like for this, the spring equinox follows this false Greco-Roman solar lunisolar calendar that we're on, because the spring equinox continually falls on March 20th. That's not 364 days. So it has to be false. So we don't trust that. We're going to trust what the word of Yahuwah says. He says that it's 364 days, always, perpetually, in all your generations, and I believe him. Right? It says, Baruk it is he who believes without seeing. If you have to see something in the sky to believe, you're the same as the sun-worshipping cult. That's what they do. Or the moon calendar cult. Like where they say that today is the year of the snake, and they're on a lunar calendar. You know what I mean? Yes, we all learning it over time. Each of us have something to teach each other. That's how Yahuwah works. His body is made up of multiple parts, multiple members. So we all have things to bring to the table. I'm only just your brother sharing some stuff with you that Yahuwah showed me. That's it. Right? So the calendar be pretty cool. But this one also works. And it's, everybody can have this. And that's free. Everything's free. We don't charge for nothing, obviously. I'd be concerned with anybody who does sell anything or charge anything under the name of, I don't. In fact, I put out a video about 3 people on TikTok that deceive others and they sell stuff, and I want to warn people because it's not right.
Yep. It's
not right. Well, I just call it his Moedim. His Moedim. So, I have so many things I could say, you guys. I've already been on here for over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But if you want to know about the calendar, I say praise Yah. And go to the playlist that I have on my YouTube channel. Because there's probably 35 videos on there specifically about the calendar. I mean, there's so much meat, you won't be able to eat it in one sitting. It's a lot. It's so much. But once you get the calendar, it's just so obvious, so simple. Like, it makes perfect sense. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's no confusion. There's no waiting. There's no days of darkness. That's blasphemy. To say that there's days of darkness or days of confusion, I've even heard him say, that comes from the enemy. That's just crazy. There ain't no days of darkness. Every day is a day that Yahuwah has made, and we will rejoice and be joyful in it, man. Be glad in it. The day begins when the sun comes up. The year begins on the 1st of Abib in springtime. And the week has never moved, never changed. But the pagans have changed their calendar and their week dozens of times. All right. And I'm grateful that you are here. And I applaud that you go change at least the back part of your name right there to A-L. Because it's Aleph Lamed Alahim. Just like Abba. Yahuwah's Mohadim. I don't know if there's a hey in that word. Let me look. I'll check it really quick. Just give me a second here. Moadim, Hebrew, blue letter.
I would highly recommend changing your profile picture too.
Oh, wow. Who's that?
That same person.
Oh, yeah. Is it Zara? Zara, you need to change your profile picture. Are you a brother? Are you Ak?
No, that's a female.
Or Ash? Oh, it's a female? Okay. Akuthi, you seriously need to change that. We don't have images of the Most High, right? That's the 2nd commandment. Hope you know that. You need to know that. Mom. Where is my... What am I looking at here? Mom? Is that a Ua? Wow. Okay, right here. So I want to show you something I just saw. M U A D Y M. Muadim. So I actually usually write it as M-O-A-D-Y-M. Moadim. But I just looked at the letters. Mam Ua Ain Dalit. M-U-A-D. Muad. And then the plurality is the Yod Mam at the end. So, see? We're always learning, bro. I'm learning stuff all the time. All the time. And that's how iron sharpens iron. We all learn together. We grow together. We come out of this captivity together. Hallelujah. All right. You know what? Let's do the Palal. This is Abinu's Palal in the Abrit. You guys have heard it before as our Father's Prayer, right? And by the way, what does an eagle do when it swoops down on a fish? Did I ask that right? The eagle preys upon the fish, right? So I like to say Palal because it's Abrith, and that's P-A-L-A-L. Palal. That's right, Damon. Love you, brother. That's awesome. Look at that. That's right. Thank you for writing that, Aki. Abinu Bashamayam Kadash Ki Shamka. Our Father in heaven, separate is your name. Malak Utka Bua Yavra Uka Asha. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Al Aratz Khan Bashamayam. On earth, so it is in heaven. Natan Lanu Hayum At Laham Bahatsarak. Give us the day agreement and our bread in the need. Usalach lanu lachatainu, ki lanu salach utam. Forgive us for our crimes as we forgive them. Lahataimkum kara lanu, for their crimes against us. Uparat lanu lata'ah, yasha lanu marasha. Lead us not astray, but rescue us from evil ones. Lamalak utka shalach hakach uhakabad. For your kingdom reigns the power and the esteem. Ba Hasham al Kal Shamut, the name above all names. Yahusha HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Rumamu Yahusha. Ahaba and Barukah to you guys all. From my household, from my family to yours. All right. Anything else, honey?
No.
Okay, maybe one more thing. Be very vigilant. Watch very closely everything that's going on in this current administration. It is the darkest one. It's going to escalate very, very quickly. Just get right up underneath that wing of Yahuwah. You got to be in obedience every single way you can. He is our strength. He fights for us. But we have to be His loving people. Obedient, submissive to His will. Not your will be done, His will be done. Serious guys. It's no playtime. It's no game time. It's on time. It's on. So cry out in your palals against the things that they're doing too, to protect the innocent. And when I say the innocent, I'm talking about the Yashar'Al, the ones who are covered, who are sealed by His Ruach. It's not that we have no transgression. There is no such thing as a transgressless perfection apart from Yahusha alone. Some people out here trying to teach that stuff, it's wrong. I don't even say the word S-I-N, Larry. Are you still in here? You know why I don't say S-I-N? Because it's actually the name of a moon deity. I am not joking. I'm telling you the truth. I'll show you. Right here. Trust me, this is everywhere in your Bible, right? You see that? Look at that. S-I-N. Look at crescent moon. Torch, just like Libertas, the statue of. See that? Don't say it. Strive to have a clean lip, family. We don't say that anymore. We say transgression or if you want, in the Abrith, you can say chata. It looks like this. Watch, Larry. I'm going to show you, bro. I'm showing everybody. Chata. Because you have a chat at the beginning. That's correct, Aki. Do not say S-I-N. It's actually a chata to say it, because Exodus 23:13 says, you shall not have the names of foreign mighty ones upon your lips. Oh, I do not think that it is. I see what you wrote there. I don't think so. So that name means devoted to God. And God is the Babylonian deity of fortune. So I'm sorry. Well, you can like it if you want, but it doesn't make it clean. Right? Chata. Chata. That's how you say it. Greg likes bear. Welcome. So you don't know. If you don't know, then you don't know. And there's always favor for that. But if you want to strive to not pronounce them, then we need to learn them. Every day we're learning more and more. Once we know better, we strive to do better. We help each other. Mayasha helps me, I help her. My son helps me, we help him. We all work together to try to remind each other. Because we're constantly slipping up, saying things we're not supposed to. I'll tell you this. Even the word B-L-E-S-S. B-L-E-S-S seems like one of the most loving things that you could say. And it means to sprinkle blood on a pagan altar. Yes, saved by Yahusha. Email me and I will send you a binus palal. I'm not kidding. B-L-E-S-S is a curse. And when someone says G-O-D, B-L-E-S-S, it's even worse. It's like eating meat sacrificed to idols. It's like praising a demon. For real. And because our people have been ignorant of these things for so long, we've had so many curses coming upon us constantly, and we don't know any better. We're just oppressed in so many ways. But see, now the Father's stirring us up, and he's calling us out of all that. He's going to bring his judgment upon them for everything that they've been doing. And so he's teaching us how that we're starting to free ourselves from that. Calling upon his name, because there's power in his name. Baruk Yahuah. Right? Even worse, question mark. It's, oh, is BAD unclean? Yeah, it is. Are you asking me that? I don't know what you're saying, sorry. I have to go, because I've been on for a while. But I give myself, and I've been putting it up on the channel. You guys, seriously, if you want more, hallelujah, go to the YouTube channel and get more. All right, Abba willing, we're here every Shabbat day. I also have other videos that come up. I got 2 channels on TikTok that you can follow me on, and also on the YouTube channel, and also on the Facebook and a Facebook group. And if you email me, I always reply to those things. It's my honor. Damon, it's great to see you, man. Abba Yahuah Baruk you. All right? Shalom, family. Shalom. Baruk Atah. What the YouTube channel? I don't know how many other ways I can get you guys the information. I have a link tree in my bio. Okay? There, that's the name of the YouTube channel. Qadashayam of Yasharal. It's great to see you too. Much love. Shalom, family. By the power and will of Yahuah, Yahusha, the Messiah, the one who we love him because he first loved us, right? Because while we were yet enemies at enmity with the Most High, he humbled himself, he took on flesh, he took on the role of a servant, he lived a perfect, righteous, or Qadash life. He willingly laid his life down, no one took it from him. He bore our iniquities on his body. He was impaled on a tree. He was in the tomb 3 days, and he rose again in power, in sovereignty, in majesty, in all esteem. All esteem Yahusha. Yahusha comes in the name of the Father, Yahuah. Baruk is he who comes in the name of the Most High. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. You'll also find the email in the description of all YouTube videos. So send us a message, a praise report, a prayer request. Much love.